my guests today are really from the NEK, not just the Newport area. We're going to talk about Lyndonville Foundry, and you are?
My name is Alex.
And you are?
I'm Justin.
Cool. Tell me about the Foundry.
Well, Foundry is a community workshop. We're a makerspace based at Linden Institute in Linden Center. We operate in one of their industrial arts classrooms, and we have access to all of the tools in that building when they're not using the space through our agreement with Linden Institute.
Wow. How long have you been in existence in your current form?
The Foundry's been operating for
7 years.
7 years in its current form. The Foundry organized about 8 years ago, and we've been at Linden Institute for 7 years.
So you're sort of a group of enthusiasts who are looking for a space?
Yeah, this started out just in mostly on paper and then in the garage of one of our founders. And then for a brief period, the Foundry had a space in one of the incubator buildings in the Lyndonville Industrial Park. But we've been at Linden Institute for several years now and very much appreciate the opportunity we have there. It would be very difficult to do what we do without our partnership with them.
I bet. The resources that you have there are just phenomenal. I mean, full disclosure here, I've taken a couple of workshops at your facility. It is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, maybe what needs to be said that we are a makerspace, and what a makerspace is, because a lot of people aren't aware of what a makerspace is. A makerspace is, well, makerspaces come in all shapes and sizes. But our makerspace is a spectacularly large facility.
Yeah.
It's a 10,000 square foot facility. It's 2 floors.
Yeah.
And we offer, we have a plethora of tools. We have everything from machining tools like Bridgeports. I think we have, do we have 5?
5.
5 Bridgeports. We have all sorts of lathes and other many. We have CNC machines. We have 3D printers. We have woodworking machinery. We have a full metal shop with big industrial brakes. So it needs to be said that we have professional tools,
You really do.
and that are capable of making really anything. And the original people that formed the Foundry weren't simply enthusiasts. They were professionals.
Right.
They are professionals who've worked in the fields of manufacturing, machining, and they really know engineering, and so there's a big knowledge base. So it's a combination of an incredible facility that's open to the community, and expertise to help people learn whatever they would like to.
I've never seen as many amazing, quote, toys in one space, because the diversity there is incredible.
Yeah, we have everything from 19th century, just huge manually operated presses and brakes and things like that, to the newest computer-controlled machining equipment and manufacturing.
And this is open to the public?
Yes, it is. We are a membership-based organization. You pay a low membership fee, $35 a month, and that includes your training.
Wow.
And that's something that a lot of other makerspaces don't do, is you pay, at a lot of other facilities, you pay a monthly fee for your membership,
Sure.
and then you have to pay to learn how to use the equipment, and we don't do that.
And that includes the use of the equipment?
That includes the use of the equipment. We train you on how to use the equipment safely.
Yeah.
We'll provide you the assistance you need for whatever project you're doing, but we want you to do your project.
Right.
So we'll teach you how to use stuff, we'll teach you how to do various techniques, and then we step back. We'll provide assistance if it's needed, but we want you to make something.
Right.
Yeah, so that's an important distinction.
Yeah.
We're not here to make things for someone.
Right.
We really aren't outfitted. We don't have the staff. We don't have anything to do. We're not able to do that. We're here to help you or the member come, and we're here to support you and empower you and help train you to help you do whatever it is you want to do. Because often people have the question, well, what should I make at the Foundry? Well, we can't answer that question because we don't know.
Right.
It's up to you.
And you provide your own materials.
Yes. So the member provides their own material. So if you want to make a car or a mobile or a drone, you have to provide the parts and the what you need to do that.
Yeah. For some small projects and for workshops especially, we will have materials available.
Right.
But generally members are required to provide their own materials.
Which obviously fair enough.
Yeah.
And how many workshops do you offer?
We're currently working on scheduling more workshops. On an ongoing basis, we try to do at least one jewelry workshop every 2 months. We run stained glass classes that have been incredibly popular, to the point where I have a waiting list for our next session that at last count had 22 people on it. But we're working to develop more workshops right now. Those are the ones that we've run most often. We've also done some intro woodworking project-based workshops that have been very popular, and we're looking to expand on that as well.
Yeah, but a lot of what happens in the Foundry is not organized in that manner.
Right.
It is self-starting. It's people with all different kinds. Some people come to use the Foundry and have lifelong practices that honestly we couldn't teach them anything about because they know so much more than we do.
Right.
Yeah.
They want
about what they do. They want the
Yes.
equipment, and they may need a little training to use a new machine or to use a new technique. But for the most part, they're coming and doing their. But other people come in and say, "I've always dreamed," like myself. I've always dreamed of making a guitar, and really.
Did you make one?
Oh yes,
Cool.
Many. I mean, I've been making them for 6 or 7 years, and I continue to make them. So I've become the guitar go-to person, with the most experience in that area, and I do not have the experience that a professional has, of course. And actually this last week in the 7 days was all about Vermont luthiers, and there were quite a
I saw
few.
that.
And one of them, a violin maker, lives in my town who I know. But so it's for all kinds of people. It's for farmers who making parts for their tractors to artists who have ideas for work that falls outside of what they're familiar with. I mean, you really can't even describe the breadth of the projects, the people. Everybody's got a different story, everybody's different, and everybody's got different passions.
I was really curious about welding, not in the context of earning a living that way, but in the terms of pieces of art.
Right.
And I came and took an introductory workshop there just to decide if that really was something I wanted to pursue.
Right.
And then I did a jewelry workshop, just again, out of interest.
Right, and those things have ways of permutating into other, you start with one thing and you get a better idea along the way.
But if you hadn't offered workshops, I would never have known you existed.
Yeah, and that's we're not, Justin and his mom kindly run these wonderful workshops
Yeah.
in stained glass and jewelry mostly, and we've done some simple carpentry workshops, but we're not a school,
Right.
and that's the
Exactly.
confusing thing for people. It's like this makerspace concept is really about empowering people and building a community of not like-minded people, actually very unlike-minded
Very
people,
diverse.
very diverse. And
Yeah.
and that's kind of the exciting thing, because an artist can come in contact with an engineer, can
Yes.
come in contact with a machinist, et cetera, and you get these very exciting hybrid
It was really interesting
projects.
how many women were there,
Yes.
sort of working in fields that clearly are not normally associated with women's skills or crafts,
Yeah.
which is great.
The demographics of our organization have been changing that way
Yeah.
markedly over the last
Yeah.
few years.
I'd say we're 50-50 male-female now,
Of,
or
of,
better.
of our active
In the
membership,
female.
yes,
Yes.
at this point.
Yeah.
It
When we started, we were 150% male.
Of course.
Yes,
And-
and mostly
and that was rather
mostly
worrisome.
over 50.
Yeah, and that was rather worrisome, and that
Should have
kept.
scared you.
From an organizational standpoint, yes, that's that was not a good thing.
But you
But
know what?
we are
As-
changing.
As word got out, and
Yeah.
as our website and our Facebook page and various articles and vehicles like this
Mm-hmm.
have gotten the word out to people. And by the way, our website is www.thefoundryvt.org. And there you'll find the most information on what we do,
Right.
how to join, workshops, current events. Like, for instance, we'll be participating in the St. Johnsbury Final Fridays this summer. So it's
Yes.
three. We'll be there, and we have fantastic projects.
So you'll be doing projects.
We'll be
then.
actually doing
Like what?
projects. Well,
Or is it top secret?
I want to tell this exciting project. That,
Certainly.
Let's hear it.
we're going to be doing Victorian profile cutouts. You know those
Yes, I
old-fashioned,
do.
those old-fashioned.
I'm from
so
the
you-
land of Victorian cutouts.
Well, guess what? Do you have one of yourself?
No.
So you can come
can live
to
without
our
one,
booth.
thank you.
Okay, well, bring your
Just for fun.
bring
yeah.
bring some young people if
Yeah.
that you care about, and we'll make some cutouts of them, and
Yeah.
we're going to use the latest AI technology
Ooh.
and a laser cutter. So we're going to have a very high tech approach, but we're going to take a picture of someone in profile and convert that to a shape and cut it out on the paper or cardstock of your choice, and you'll be able to leave with a beautiful cutout of your child or grandchild or friend, and
That'll be really
it should be
popular.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're also planning to do a hammered metal bookmark make and take event.
I like that,
Those
make
are
and
all
take.
yeah,
Yeah.
those are always popular.
And that's similar to the workshop I
Yes.
did recently.
Yes.
Yeah, which I should have worn today, but didn't even think about it.
Yeah, I make jewelry. I don't wear any, so I understand.
Hey, I made 3 pieces and I've worn them.
Great.
Nice.
Do you get comments on them when you wear them, or
Well, most people never notice.
they
so,
do?
you know.
Yeah.
Well, I did get a comment on one bracelet, yes.
Good. Good.
Yes. And we're still trying to figure out what the other event for the third Final Friday will
Yeah.
be. Probably something woodworking related. Maybe a wood turning demonstration.
Yeah.
Since that's always popular.
Yeah, we had a pen turning workshop that was very popular. We got we have, for those that don't know, wood turning involves a lathe, which is a machine that
Right.
goes around and around, and you take a sharp chisel or blade and you
Going.
form the
Yeah.
contour of the object. And we have everything. At the Foundry, we have many, many lathes. We must have, we have 3 regular lathes plus all the CNC lathes, right?
For wood turning,
Woodworking.
specifically, we have 3. The big one and 2 smaller
Yeah.
pen lathes.
And we have a real cute pen lathe
Yeah.
that we can take out to events, and
Yes.
people can make pens. And
Yes.
and there's one right there.
Yes. That's,
Oh, so you
And
can
you-
show that. That's lovely.
And I think that is yours engraved with.
mine's not, no.
Yes.
It's really pretty.
But we can also laser engrave your name on a pen.
Whoa.
So
That actually, I'm sure, would be really popular.
Yes.
yeah. So we invite people who might be seeing this to go to our website or give us a call and or come in and visit during our hours of operation. You can just drop in
When
our.
are you normally open? What are the regular hours?
Mondays and Wednesdays from 5 to 9 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 to 4. We're in the True Building at Linden Institute on the Vail campus, down behind the Linden Center Post Office.
You're hard to find. Partly as the
not
street
really.
you are, because the street that you're on
There's
does
only
not
one.
have a sign.
There's only one street sign for King Drive.
yeah.
So
and there's
depending on
nothing that
which-
tells you how to get off there.
Yeah, depending on which direction
But
you're
once
coming
you know,
in.
you know.
And we do have a sign out by the road when we're
Yeah.
open.
Yes.
And come in and tell us about what you want to make or what you want to build or
just
your
ask-
idea. We
Just
have
ask questions
I
about
mean,
the equipment.
Yeah, and we have people that have invented new things and gotten patents and manufacture them and have developed small or medium-sized businesses.
Yes.
So we help entrepreneurs, we help artists, we help hobbyists, we help all kinds of people who like to make things. You know, one of the frustrating things I think is just explaining.
Right.
You know, I really like, there is, in recent years, there have been the growth of maker spaces and what they call a maker movement. And I
Yeah.
really like the idea of a maker movement because it encompasses, you know, such a broad term that it encompasses art and engineering and woodworking, metalworking, building,
And
all these
creative.
things.
so many
Yeah.
of those
But things
are,
that, yeah.
are skills that women in particular were never taught. I mean, back in my school days, long ago
Yeah.
and far away, we were supposed to be able to wield a needle and make something useless like
Yeah.
an apron, or we could learn to cook.
Hence your love of Victorian. When I said Victorian, you rolled
Get
your
me
eyes.
started.
Yeah.
And
But women always made things.
yes,
Hello.
of course they did.
Knock, knock.
But we didn't get to learn how to weld or to make something with wood.
Yes.
That was just for the boys.
Yes.
And it-
But originally you did. I mean, it's
Of course
important
we
to
did.
state
Yeah.
that, you know, the earliest weaving, you know, all these major
Right.
technological, they say beer making, you know, all the important things. You know,
that is
we're done by
important,
women.
Yes, yes they were.
And so there's this kind of you were taught incorrectly probably
We know.
about the history and what women had done
Oh, we were never taught
historically.
about the history. It was about social control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well, you were taught a
what was
version of history
ladylike.
that was
Yes.
that
And
was
it was a classist system.
incorrect, right?
Yes.
And that's important.
But now you offer an opportunity for women to learn and girls to
Absolutely.
learn the skills
Yes.
they haven't
Absolutely,
had the opportunity to learn at school.
and we're so pleased, and we largely have Justin and his mother to thank for running these workshops
Well,
and
Yeah.
bringing in a lot of talented and curious
Yeah.
women of all ages, and they see the place and they
It's
sign
wow.
up.
Yes.
Yeah, which is just wonderful. So we really have we've skewed so much, age-wise,
Yeah.
and gotten a lot younger and gotten a
Yes.
lot
Which is
more
great.
women. And frankly, I was worried about that for a long time. I was
Yeah,
like,
I
how is
was
this
too.
going to happen? You know, how is this? But
It
it
just
turns
did.
out that just some inviting, friendly
Yeah.
workshops really have gotten the word out amongst
Yeah.
a lot of the community. So
It's the only way
Yes.
people get the first introduction. You have to
Right.
step over the door, and
right,
then
right,
you
right,
can know.
yes.
Do you engage with the schools?
To some extent, I'm going to be working with the Barton and Glover schools. They actually reached out to the Foundry
Cool.
to work with their summer program this year.
Uh-huh.
And we have done some limited events in the past. We would like to do more, but
Well, we're fortunate
but-
because the schools in our area, Linden Institute, has its own programs.
Yes.
After all, right? Because
Yeah.
that's why we're in their facilities.
Right.
yeah.
And same thing with St. Johnsbury Academy is a
Yes.
fantastic
They have great resources.
resource. So they have their own maker space.
Yeah.
And and plus there's the Fairbanks that is going to be doing more programs. So
We're certainly open to doing more within the limitations of
Right.
our staffing because we're all volunteers.
Sure.
And most of us have other jobs as well. So it does pose a challenge sometimes that way. But
Yeah. And that's an important thing to note. You are volunteers.
yes.
yes.
And the Foundry is a nonprofit.
Uh-huh.
So
It doesn't mean
But
you don't have
we're
to
an all
eat.
volunteer nonprofit, so
Right.
so what that means is the $35 dues goes to paying for
Electricity.
no, not even electricity, but we have a very generous in the sense of its low cost rent, and we have renewables like sandpaper and things that we have to replace. The machines need certain things, so
Yeah.
the sanders and whatever. So that's the $35 goes directly to that. It doesn't go to anyone. So so everyone that's helping you at the Foundry or running the Foundry, opening and closing, whatever, is a volunteer. So we're able to run on this, and we're able to keep our dues incredibly low.
Yes.
Because as Justin mentioned, our dues are a fraction
They are.
of other, you hear their maker spaces in Brooklyn and LA and
They're
all
a
these
fortune.
places,
Yeah.
and many of them, although they may be nonprofits, technically, are expensive.
Yes.
yes.
And
even Burlington, their
Yes.
dues are considerably more
Right.
than ours are.
and as Justin mentioned, we don't charge for training for anything,
Right.
really. So
You guys are very generous with your time.
yeah, but we all we have some very, very experienced people and some less experienced people, but who are all willing to share their time and knowledge, and in that it's a very cooperative and kind of frictionless
Yes.
environment, supportive environment.
So the other
So-
people who were involved in the jewelry workshop, for example,
Yes.
because somebody was teaching the ceramic part of it.
Oh, the enameling, yes.
The enameling, and there were other bits, and other people were sort of showing us who participated those. They are all either members or volunteers.
Yes. Yeah. Once in a while, we do have some guest instructors come in for a demonstration or
Yeah.
something like that. But in general, everybody you see at the shop, if you just drop in, everybody who's working or teaching someone how to use a machine is a member.
Yeah.
And we all have different skill sets.
Sure.
A lot of us know at least something about a lot of the equipment, but we're not necessarily qualified to use all of the
Right.
equipment. I know how most of the equipment in the machine shop works, and there are a couple of things that I can do safely and competently, but I certainly would not train anyone else on how to
Yeah.
use the machine shop. But we do have some people who know how to do virtually everything
Yeah.
and are bordering on expert level at
Wow.
Well,
virtually
many people
everything.
are professional.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
So we have retired electrical engineers. We have
Machinists.
really expert machinists. We have engineers who've spent decades
Yeah.
with experience in manufacturing and all this kind of knowledge. So that probably is the most valuable resource. I mean, despite
Yes.
Yeah.
having all these beautiful machines,
Right, you've gotta
you can
know
go
how to
out
use
at
them.
auction and buy machines, right?
Right.
But to have it
The
all
expertise.
together,
Yeah.
to have the facility, the capability, the machines, the knowledge, together is what makes it so
Right.
unique, you
Yes.
know? So,
Because even at the simple level where we were working with these strips of copper,
yeah,
we must have used 3 or 4 different machines if we wanted to do something else, some kind
Right.
of embellishment or stick a hole in it or,
right,
or
right.
something. It was great.
right.
And somebody else just willingly showed us.
Yep.
It was-
Yep.
And so we hope everyone who has an interest in these things comes and gets in contact or comes and visits,
Yeah.
and or come see us at the Final Fridays, which is a great event in St. Jay. They close the main street, and it's like a big street party with music and
And
food and
all the important
the
things.
whole thing. It's great for kids, great
Yeah.
for people of all ages.
Yeah.
And we'll be there with our
When do they start?
projects.
June, July?
June, July, August, right?
Yes. Yes.
And it's the
So
last
it's
Friday?
the last
Yeah.
Friday, and I believe it's from 2 to 7 or something, roughly. You have to.
Something
You can
like that.
check online, but it's called the St. Johnsbury Final Friday Festival.
Yeah, and that'll be on our website and on our Facebook, as well as on the Discover St. Johnsbury website and Facebook.
Sure.
Yeah, and you don't have to have a specific project in mind or know anything about what you want to do in order to come into the Foundry. We've had people who have come in just basically as a blank slate. They've said, I'd like to learn how to do something.
Use the 3D printer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have, for
I would
instance,
have no
a lot of
clue.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people, have heard about these
Yeah.
new gadgets and cool things. 3D printers, CNC carving, CNC engraving, and what all those things are they use computer control. So you learn to use. You generally do some design work. I mean, you can do design work on a napkin and pencil, the way people have always done, but then you convert that in some way to using a computer to a software program, and so that's another side that we teach too.
Yes.
We teach the software needed to run some of these machines, and 3D printers are just a lot of fun. You can literally print. The way they work is they use plastic and
Right.
and they melt little layers and slowly build up, a sculpture.
Right.
And you can the actual 3D printing is slower than most people expect and want. It can take a few hours to print something out, but it is a lot of fun to see an idea that you have or that you've created enter the world in this amazing kind of new way.
Yeah.
And that's an additive process. And we have subtractive processes that work the same way, which is milling, CNC milling. So you can take a piece of wood, a block of wood, and do what a sculptor would do with a chisel,
Right.
except a machine is doing it. So it's the same process. You get a design, you learn the software, you get it into the computer, and then the computer controls the machine and will actually carve out. And that's how I make my guitars. I do not have the fine, it takes a long time
Right.
to learn to use hand tools
Sure.
the way traditional luthiers did. But instruments today, most are mass produced
Right
for the
now.
most part,
Yes.
and use machines just like the ones we have.
Hmm.
And that enables someone with a lot less skill to make a precision instrument or a
Mm-hmm.
precision part, because one thing that the machines is fairly precise.
Yeah.
So that's a marvelous way to use technology to overcome another limitation that you might have. But you may love just working with hand tools, and you may want to do it that way. And that is completely
Yeah.
up to you. That's the kind of fun of it. You get to decide. We might offer you a lot of options,
Right.
but you ultimately decide which direction
Yeah.
your project
The
takes.
lathe turning sounds fascinating to me. When
It
you're
is.
turning a piece of wood into a gorgeous bowl.
Yes. And we've had people make. We have a very big lathe.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's the length? that you can put on? 4 feet, maybe.
4, might be able to go 5. I'm
Yeah,
not
and
sure.
we had someone come in and make a replacement porch column that for an
Wow.
old house that had
Yeah.
a contour, and he brought in the rotted one
Yeah.
and he made a new one just based on that, using that as
Wow.
a model, and copied the contour of that one, and in an afternoon he had the new one made of a piece
Great.
of wood.
And that gentleman came over from New York State
Wow.
for that project. We have people who travel from the Barry Montpelier area
Mm-hmm.
on a regular basis,
all over.
all over.
They find you.
Yes, we have members from all over the Northeast Kingdom. We certainly are not limited to just the
Mm-hmm. No,
Lyndonville
I'm
area.
sure.
Um,
Because
I-
there's nobody else like you.
Right. I drive down from Island Pond
Yeah.
every day that the shop is open, pretty much.
Yeah.
We unfortunately are out of time.
Oh,
So as I said, it goes really fast.
does.
Well,
Surprisingly,
thank
yeah.
you, Pam, for
Thank
having
you
us.
very much, Pam.
This was
We've enjoyed
fun,
it.
and I
Yeah.
really hope a lot of people come down and check out the
Yep.
resources.
And again, our web address is
will-
www.thefoundryvt.org.
It will be up on the screen
Thank you.
too.
Okay.
And I'll be down to check out those lathes at some point.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
you
you
for
very
having
much.
us.
Thank you.